You are now tuned into another Black Girl Den podcast brought to you by Alicia's Productions. Hey, homegirls, welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Den podcast. If you are new, I'm your homegirl Alicia, and you have just tuned into your favorite podcast, hopefully, right? In this new series, we are talking to women who have found their voice through their passion. So I'm so excited to share with you all Christian L'Oreal Lucas. Hope I said your middle name right.
Yes.
Yes. I love that. Let's read her bio because I do read bios on here, okay? So Christian Lucas is an assistant professor of English and a fiction writer, playwright, and entrepreneur. Put it all together. She's a wife, mom of two cats, originally from Memphis, Tennessee. She's the founder of Sweet Girl Press. Oh, I forgot to say 901. A new micro press with a mission to publish fiction chapbooks. She has released 2 projects under the Sweet Girl Press. A short play called The Black Boy Narratives in 2023 was the first publication of Sweet Girl Press. Her debut short story collection, The Chapbook is a Ghetto, was released in September 2025. Her other short stories and essay have appeared in Midnight and Indigo and Obsidian. Yes. Literature and Arts in the African Diaspora. I said, girl, you gotta tell me what that is because I do not know. But welcome, Christian. Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
This is my first podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to ask you.
Yeah, so I'm doing new things every day.
Yes, we love it. Well,
thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you feel comfortable. I hope you feel relaxed, you know.
I do.
We're just going to chat it up. I do got a couple questions, though, about your bio in general.
Okay.
One, can you tell us what a chapbook is?
Yeah, so a chapbook historically is this little book, probably no more than even 10 to 40 pages. This one goes up to 70 pages. So historically, they were small books that poets used or created to basically get their poetry out there. And they were very inexpensive. It was a way for you to publish your own work.
Okay.
So I love the chapbook form because it is small. And even today, you see a lot of chapbooks are for poetry. But I wanted with my press to do fiction. So this is a short story collection. This chapbook is a Ghetto. And so all of the books that are going to be published are going to be short fiction chapbooks.
Oh, okay. So this chapbook is a Ghetto. Is it really, this part is what you wrote about, is a Ghetto? Because the chapbook is what it's going to be called regardless. Is that what you're saying?
Say that again. Sorry.
This chapbook is a Ghetto?
Yes.
It's already a chapbook because of the length.
Right, yes. So
in
general, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But is a Ghetto, what's the title meaning?
So the title comes from my obsession with the word ghetto.
Oh, okay.
And how we have interpreted that word and how we have used it against other people. Especially against Black voices, Black people, Black women, especially. That word is thrown out. And so I actually started these stories in grad school.
Okay.
They were part of my creative thesis. And I just kept working with them until I got this chapbook, this collection. So all the characters are dealing with the word ghetto in their own way. Whether they are running away from their name or they're running away from their poverty. Or they're chasing a wild dream. They're all trying to escape their own ghettos. So,
that sounds like that was something I want to read then. Okay.
Yes, you did.
Period, yes. I hate the ghetto negative stereotypes. So I love that you're using it. I always think about how you can use your voice or how you can change the narrative within who you are or what you're writing and stuff like that. So I definitely love that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about Sweet Girl Press. That's cute.
Yeah. So Sweet Girl Press, it was a huge risk, something that I never dreamed I would even try. But I wanted to first get my own work out there. And I just did a deep dive into Google and read a lot of testimonials from different people. And they said a press was a good way to first get your work out. out there to people, and to kind of be taken seriously as a writer.
Okay.
But I really want to publish other writers as well. So Sweet Girl Press, the name came from my or our family pet, who unfortunately we have to euthanize.
Aww.
She's no longer with us because she got really, really sick. Her name was Lady. She was a boxer. And so the silhouette, the label is actually a silhouette of her, our doggie.
Oh,
yes, our doggie Lady. So that's where I came up with
she's a sweet girl.
She was a sweet girl, yes. She was Mama's sweet girl. So, yeah, that's where that came from.
Oh, that's so cute. So you got it. So the press is a publication.
Yes.
Like
it's a micro press. I'm only the goal will be to publish maybe 3 titles per year. No more than that. I'm going to keep it small. And again, I'm going to prioritize short fiction.
Okay.
Because we need a lot of short stories out there.
That is really good. I love that. Do you want to talk about your Black Boy Narratives book?
Yeah, so Black Boy Narratives was my first play that I wrote. I went around the city of Louisville interviewing Black boys, asking them just about life, their relationships with their family members, and just how they saw themselves. Because I don't think we allow Black boys or Black men to really express their emotions, their feelings. And so I sat down with these boys, interviewed them, and their interviews inspired the monologues that are in the play. And so I wanted to put this in print. So this is the first title from Sweet Girl Press. But we have done a stage reading of the play. And now we have a new edition of the play that was actually co-written by some students at W.B. Du Bois Academy.
Oh, okay.
So I let them do the interviews, and I let them draft the monologues. And so we are working on that, and working on maybe publishing an edition of that.
Okay, I actually came to your Black Boy Narratives.
You did.
Yes, the first one, right?
Right, the first one. That was in 2030.
Yes. It was the short play, and they were like acting it out and stuff like that. Yeah, I was like, that's really, really cool. So yeah, shout out to you. Just have to give a little bit in the bio before we start with the questions.
Yes.
Oh, you were what is Midnight and Indigo and Obsidian?
So Midnight and Indigo is a publication, a press that publishes Black women writers. So short stories, essays. I don't know if they're doing poetry, but a wonderful press that I found years ago. They were always asking for submissions, like submit your short story, submit your essay. And I was lucky to have been able to submit both an essay and a short story, and they published it for me. So it's a really good, awesome press to discover, especially if you're a Black female writer, you just want to get your work out there. They are very open to Black women writers. So shout out to them.
Yes. Shout out to them, literature and the arts. And where are they based at? Do you know?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I should know that. But I know Obsidian is based at Illinois State University.
Okay.
So it is their literary journal. They prioritize African American literature or in the African diaspora. But also art. If you look at one of their journals, they have photography in there. They have visual arts. They have all types of beautiful things made by Black creatives. So I submitted one of my short stories that's actually appearing in my book to them. And they published, it was my first, well, not my first publication. It was my first publication of a university literary journal. So I'm very proud of that.
Okay. Do you feel like you want to start a literary journal as well?
Not today. No, not.
That's because you're in academia.
I'm in academia, we have kind of discussed that, me and some of my colleagues, but it's not on my to-do list right now.
That's cool.
I have a lot of things on my to-do list.
And that is not one of them.
No.
But I actually like that idea, so let me write that down for myself.
Yes.
Yes,
idea, write it down. But
yes, I love that.
Literary journals at universities, I mean, they're awesome. They're good ways for people to really get their work out there into that academic audience.
I feel like people, even like with me or whatever, not trying to get off topic, but I feel like people don't know what all writing can be. Like you can, it could be academia. You can write those like journals, you know. I was looking at something in Forbes actually. Like Forbes has like an education writer. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah, there's like an education writer. Yeah, you know, and so even if you think about like in the DC, like people are writing, I like the Huffington Post, like there's a lot of education things or whatever that you can do. So it's like just because you're not, I guess, a fiction writer, right? You could be an academia writer. So like, there's different ways
fiction, journalism, absolutely.
So there's so many different ways to kind of write and share your story. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right, then. Well, let's get into the topic or the first question. Can you share a little bit about your passion and how that became your voice?
Yeah, so I've been wanting to write for as long as I remember. I actually have this little book I wrote in first grade. Okay. It was a class assignment, but I was so proud of it that I kept it. I still have it. But so at a very young age, I was very passionate about just storytelling. I loved a good story, loved a good book, but also films. Songs. I think songs are beautiful ways to tell stories, and so I was just always attracted to that and always wanting to do it myself. And so it took a minute though, because I didn't prioritize that passion in me, and so I kind of put other things first. But
like what?
Well, just other career choices. You know, and we may get into this later, but I did not see myself as a writer as a young girl, and I didn't see how it would lead to financial success, right? Like I knew I needed a good paying job. Period, right? So any dreams I had about writing were just that dreams. Like it's not gonna put food on the table. I need a job like my mom and dad had. You know? So that's why I didn't really pursue it in the beginning of my, leaving home and going off to college. But the passion was still there, and it never went away. And so finally I had to stop like fighting against it because it was not going away. Yeah. So
what did you end up getting your undergrad in?
So undergrad was in animal health technology was what it was called back then at Murray State. So I was a part of the agricultural department. So I was wanting to be an animal nurse or a veterinary technician is what they call it. So that's the girl or the guy that's holding your dog while the doctor is giving it an injection. That's the person that's taking your dog into the room, and they're checking its vitals, things like that. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay, yeah, you love animals.
I love animals. Yes. That was probably my first passion. Yeah. So I was that kid.
You grew up with animals?
I did. We always had dogs. We weren't the best caretakers of them, and I think it was just the culture back then. It was just like a dog is a dog to my dad, especially. Like a dog is a dog; it belongs outside, But for me, it was like, oh, these are my best friends, and I would cry if I saw anything getting hurt, a bird or anything. So I was very sensitive, hypersensitive when it came to animals. So but that was actually my first success in pursuing that dream. And I actually did end up getting a job in biomedical research where I took care of research animals.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what we were talking about a little bit. Do you feel like you're going to publish your first grade story or anything like that?
Probably not. I mean, it's going to need some really good editing, some really good editing. But I guess something as a children's book. Maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
You're giving me ideas.
Yeah, I try when I can.
Yeah, then you get ideas.
Yeah, a period. Okay, yes, that's cool because it's a little dreamer, Yeah,
that's
cool. The little dreamer, I'm crying. So, did you always feel like your voice mattered, or did it take time to discover it?
I would say I have never felt like my voice didn't matter. Of course, in different social situations, you feel like no one is listening, or especially if you're a kid, your parents, you feel like your parents don't understand when you're trying to express yourself. But I've always felt like my voice mattered, and I think that's what's kind of pushed me. So I never had a feeling of I'm not worthy of being listened to, or my work is not worth being read, or my stories are not worth anything. So yeah, I can say that was one thing that kept me going, knowing that I still had something to say, and that what I had to say mattered.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in her bio, she says she was from Memphis. So we all know. Well, if you don't know, it's a 901. But
Black Haven.
Yeah. Okay. So do you feel like growing up in Memphis helped or hindered your voice?
Oh my gosh. Growing up in Memphis definitely helped my voice. Being from a big city, like, I guess when I think of small towns, and my husband's from a small town, so I get to talk about this. But small towns move more slowly, and it's a big city like Memphis. And if you know anything about Memphis, how it is and how you have to be kind of streetwise and things like that. You have to kind of grow up a little faster than someone in a small town, I think. And not to say, like, I was not that kid that was out in the street. I was not that kid, getting in trouble. I'm not going to even try to pretend. I was a homebody. I was the quiet one that was scared to get in trouble. I was not on the block. Sometimes maybe I wanted to be with my friends. But it definitely prepared me for just situations popping off when you don't know what's coming, surprises. You have to kind of have thick skin to survive Memphis. Like, and that's anybody in Memphis. You kind of have to have thick skin. So I think it kind of taught me that. But what it did not prepare me for was life outside of Memphis. Because I went from a big city that was predominantly black schools, predominantly black classrooms, neighborhoods, right? I could probably count the number of white neighbors I had on one hand. I can count the number of white peers I had in school on one hand. And so going from that to a small town like Murray, Kentucky, and being sometimes, especially in my degree program, the only black person in the classroom, that was a culture shock. And Memphis did not prepare me for that.
Yes. Memphis is so black, child.
Listen.
I was like, was there no schools? Because you said animal. No, the degree was kind of long.
Animal health technology or veterinary. Just say veterinary medicine.
Yes, veterinary medicine. Was that the closest school? Is that why you went to Murray?
It was the closest that had that program.
Yes, Yeah, that had that
But there was, HBCUs definitely have veterinary programs like Southern University in Louisiana. But they didn't have what I was looking for. So Murray was the closest.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how you got to Murray. But I was like, coming from a big city, to go into a small town is very interesting.
Yes.
And so that's cool. But I really wanted to, so I understand Memphis is a big city, right? But do you not feel like it's still slow? Like, you don't feel like it's slow paced?
I mean, I guess when you compare it to a city like New York, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like Memphis it's a southern city as well. So the South is, moves a little slower. And, I don't think that's a negative connotation. It's just like, it's the South. This is how we do things. This is our culture. Compared to a city like New York, even LA, Memphis is definitely on a slower pace. It just has that more relaxed vibe. Just kind of laid back, but
a little relaxed and rough.
Yes, relaxed and rough. Yes.
I actually like Memphis. I was thinking about moving there, honestly. My first I was, because I like low cost living places. But my friends, they was like, it's a little too slow for you or something like that. But I'm also into culture and different things like that too. So I like that, and I feel like this is it's a lot of writing material, or just chill, because I was in Atlanta. I was like, I'm over Atlanta, child. But I definitely want to go to Nashville.
I kind of thought about Atlanta at some point in my youth, being a cool city to live in.
It's so expensive, so that's a whole other conversation. But I just see Memphis, and I kind of see it for what it is. And I've been there. I was on Beale Street. I went to the Martin Luther King site. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Yes, Martin. So I was like, okay. But my friend's like, you are not gonna like it. I'm like, I don't know. And so this dude's out there, but it's definitely slower than Atlanta. That's what I was kind of figuring.
I would say
slow, but it's still a big city, and so that's kind of interesting when you look at it that way.
And there's a lot of love in the city, and it, every time I go home, it feels like home. And my accent, magically comes back. I get around my cousins and I'm sounding like them again. So
how do they talk in Memphis?
I'm about to embarrass myself now.
Yeah. Let's hear it. They be like, Glorilla.
Yes, her accent is in my view, so beautiful, so natural, because it makes, listening to her talk makes me think of home, because it is a very distinct accent. Not everybody's is not as strong as hers, or as deep as hers, but I go home and I'm around 30 people that are saying Maine, and so I'm
like, what up, Maine? What up, Maine? I like Maine. I do like that one.
Yes, and so Maine, and I was talking to my husband, or not my husband. I forgot who I was talking to, but I was saying like Yeen, no. And I was like, oh, that's not Memphis. That's Memphis. So yeah.
The R's now. I do like Maine. I like it, but sometimes I be like, ooh, Glorilla. But I don't know if you also know. I don't know if you know her, but De'Ara, she's from Memphis. She's like a famous YouTuber. They're young though, but like De'Ara.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say, did I know Glorilla? Like, no. We don't all know each other.
No. I was talking about De'Ara. Because she's a famous YouTuber, so that's why I was saying it like that.
No.
Yeah. She actually lives in LA, but she moved from Memphis to Atlanta. Okay. But her accent is really like it. Like you care, like the words. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, child, the words be stressing me out a little bit, kind of. But
because you're not used to it.
Yeah. I be like, what they? Oh, I can't think of a word that they say, but they be like with the R, like something that they say. I be like, I don't know. I can't think of the word off the top of my head though, but I do know. I do like Maine.
Yeah. And listening to you say it's like,
I do like that word. But when I go to Memphis, I don't hear people talk like that, so I don't like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. So that's why I be kind of confused with people.
Who are you talking to then? I guess if they're not sounding like that.
I don't know, but
it's across like the races. Like it can be
like the touristy spots though.
The black people. I've seen Asian people sound
really?
Yes, people who grew up in Memphis. We
they all sound like that. Probably because I go to touristy spots too. It's more just not the
you're not really with the locals.
The locals, yeah. So maybe when I go back to the locals and I'll hear them talk.
Yeah, so you'll have to come with me one time. I'll put you around my cousins and you'll see.
Then we'll see. Yeah. Okay, I'll see a little bit more.
I love my city. Yeah.
That's cool. That's great. Was there a time you felt your voice wasn't being heard? How did you overcome that? It could be anything.
The time when my voice wasn't being heard, I can't think of a distinct time, but being a soft-spoken person, I get that from my mom. I have always felt like I've had to talk loud sometimes for people to hear me. Because people will talk over me, or even when I was a little girl and I'm in a big space with a lot of people or in a big group of friends and they're all talking and then I try to say something. It's like I'm not being heard or no one's listening to me. But I just had to kind of overcome that by just being more confident. A lot of times we're just not confident women. And so I had to kind of, grow into my confidence and make sure I'm around the people who are going to hear me, who are going to give me a chance to speak, who are not going to drown out my voice. So there wasn't a distinct time, but I just kind of remember just growing up at times feeling that way.
Just growing up at times because you were so soft-spoken that you feel like people didn't hear you.
Right. And then, listen, a short, tiny, sometimes we don't see the little people, right? We don't see the short. So, yeah.
I understand. Did you have any fears or doubts when you started embracing your passion?
Oh, my gosh. Yes, I still have fears and doubts.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because it's very vulnerable when you, especially as a writer, and I know a lot of people are going to relate to this, writers, when you are trying to put your work out there or when you're sharing your work with someone, you're vulnerable. Like it's almost like you're, I don't know, you don't have on any clothes when you give them your words.
What did Erykah Badu say?
What did she say? Am I missing?
I think what she said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my ish.
Oh, yeah. You should have just thrown it out there. Yes, you are sensitive. It's because it's almost like, again, you're revealing your most inner self. And I have dealt with that for years when I realized that I did want to really pursue writing as a career. You get rejected. You never think your work is good enough. And those are roadblocks. But I realize that I'm putting up those roadblocks myself. Like no one else is doing it. And so I heard this quote from Stephanie Meyer, who wrote the Twilight series. And I'm saying that as someone who's never watched Twilight, I've never read the book.
This book is 500 pages.
I am, well, that part. But I'm more of a Anne Rice, Gothic, Victorian vampire girl.
Okay, vampire girly.
I felt, Brad Pitt was my first love. From the Interview with the Vampire. But, so I'm just saying that to say I'm not a fan of Miss Meyer. But I was listening to NPR and they were interviewing her. She had like the best quote ever. And it was that she had to learn herself that fear is allowed to ride in a car with you. Like fear is going to be there because naturally you're going to have some anxieties. You're going to have fear when you're trying to, create or when you're trying to put your work out there. But she said fear should not be allowed to drive the car. So you can let fear ride with you, but don't let it drive your car. And hearing that, I was just like, that's what I've been doing. I've been letting fear drive this car, this vehicle that I'm sitting in, and I need to be the one to take the wheel, So I had to just learn to take risks, learn to just, life is short. Like I need to try something. I need to put myself out there and my work out there.
And you be doing that, so.
Listen, this past year has been, woo.
Yes, that's so good.
Thank you.
Do you, hold on, wrong question. Were there people or experiences that tried to hold you back, and how did you rise above them?
There were not people or experiences. I was the one holding me back. So it wasn't other people. It was always me. I always made excuses when it was time to write. I always made excuses when it was time to submit something because I was so nervous. Like, well, I'm not going to submit to them. I submitted something to the New Yorker once. And I almost didn't because I was just like, it's the New Yorker. Nobody's going to... They're not going to pick my story. And they didn't. I got rejected. But
at least you submitted.
Exactly. And so, but over the years, I'm 40. I have learned that I was the one when I look back, I was the one in my own way. I was the one putting the doubt into my head. I was the one not pushing myself to write. I was the one not, writing down those story ideas.
Yeah.
I was the one not taking a chance. And so I finally stopped getting in my way when I decided to go to grad school at U of L. Okay. I was already a full-time employee there. So listen, that degree was kind of almost free. I still had to pay a couple of fees. But they had a wonderful tuition remission program. So I was able to take classes, take my lunch break, go take the class, come back and make up those hours I missed, go home to the kids and the husband, and I made it work. And I wanted to go back to school so that I could really study the art of creative writing. So I could really read work that I had never read. Took a Shakespeare course, and I'm reading plays I didn't even know the man wrote. I read Hamlet for the first time, even though as a kid, you always hear about Hamlet or they talk about it in the movies. I finally, sat and faced it and read it. I read James Baldwin for the first time just from deciding to go back to college. And so that was a big risk for me to go back because I was terrified. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I work full time. I don't have time to be in grad school, but I made it work. And so to me, that was my act of resistance against myself. So I was one holding myself back, and I finally realized it.
Okay, so it's like you realized, like you rose above it because you were like, I'm nervous to write, I'm scared to write. Yes. And you were already working. So when you graduated from Murray, you got a job at U of L.
Yes.
Okay, period.
Yes. It didn't happen right away. It happened like later that year, but like months after graduating.
Oh, and so then you moved here, and then you heard about like tuition. So, so you got your master's in arts
in English.
Yes.
Okay. But I really mainly focused. My studies were mainly creative writing, so I took a lot of the creative writing graduate courses and the literature course. Yeah.
So, as a writer yourself, do you feel like people should get a degree in writing?
Oh no. I mean, I don't think. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes. But do I think you have to do that? No. Again, I went because I wanted to actually study it more, learn the terminology that I didn't know, and again, study different writers to see, well, how did they create their characters? What is character development? How did they create this scene, this world in their story? I wanted to go through the rigors of that. But no, I don't think you have to be, a master degree person to call yourself a writer. You write because you write. You write because it feels good to write. You write because you have stories, and you don't need a degree to do that. So,
okay. I was just wondering if you felt like, because of your background, because of what your degree is, it's like, okay, do I need to establish myself to become a writer to learn? So that's why I was asking.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I guess it depends on what type of writing you want to do. So obviously, if you want to go into journalism, it's best to have a degree to do that type of writing. Or if you want to do academic writing, it's best to have a degree, But, fiction, there are tons of fiction writers who don't have degrees, and they are doing amazing jobs. I also wanted to get my MFA in writing. I wanted to keep going. But I didn't have any luck getting into any programs.
So
sad. Yeah.
That's Master of Fine Arts.
Yes.
And that's something. It's so many different things you don't know to do. What's the difference in Master of Fine Arts? That's like focused on creative writing specifically.
Well, not specifically because you get an MFA in visual arts. So it's just like an umbrella degree, depending on which direction you want to go. Yeah, also playwriting.
Then like English. That's why I was like, I don't know. And that's funny actually because I was like, why did I get a degree in English? I was like, child, I don't be no English teacher. I didn't know I was going to know English. Like I went to U of L too. So I was like,
I was going to be an English teacher.
And here you are, English master. Yes, so I was like, I don't really know. So that's interesting that you said that. But that's cool. So you got your degree and then you kind of started writing from there.
Yeah. Well, I was writing before I went back, but
you were writing?
I was writing before. I actually published my first book before I went to grad school. That was in 2011. But again, wanting to switch careers away from animals and wanting to really study the craft sent me back to school.
May I ask how old you were when you switched your career?
Oh my gosh. So that, because I'm bad with numbers. My husband will tell you. So that I went back in 2017. So, gosh, I was 36.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was like
I was definitely in my 30s.
That was 8 years ago, kind of.
Yeah. Was it kind of? Yeah. My math.
If my math is right. 2020.
I have to have a calculator.
Yeah. Well, 9 years ago now. 9 years ago when this is out.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know, because I always think about that too. People are like, when you switch careers or you kind of see what you want to do and everything's like that. And so I want people to hear like ages or whatever so they can know, like, you can switch your career at 30. You can switch your career at 40, child. 35, I don't know, 40.
Listen, one big motivation for me was Toni Morrison. She is my favorite top number one writer of all time. Reading her work inspired me to get into my work. And so, but she didn't publish her first book until she was in her 40s. But before that, she had worked. She was a professor, English professor. She became an editor.
Okay. Look at you.
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't do the editor role, but yeah. So she had her kids and everything before she put her work out there. So, yeah.
Oh no, so you can be an editor after.
I could. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Somebody else. She's in another series. She's in the Small Town Girl Bigger Dream series. She talked about Toni Morrison. She there was this quote about her so that she loved her. So that's kind of funny.
Yes. I love Toni Morrison.
Yeah. She's a poet.
Toni Morrison?
Author. She's both?
Who?
Toni Morrison.
So Toni Morrison, she was mainly a novelist, a fiction writer. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Now she also did nonfiction. So she published a lot of essays. Let's see, poetry. I feel like she wrote at least and published one poem, if I got that correct.
Yeah.
But mostly she was a fiction writer.
Okay. I definitely know of her, but there's so many writers that I
know, yeah. And that's why,
maybe I be getting them mixed up a little bit, but it's okay. So a lot of people I don't know who I was thinking of was a poet. Bell Hooks.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to get that wrong, but she definitely wrote essays. Books, nonfiction books.
There's somebody that's on the tip of my tongue, and of course it's not Maya Angelou because we already know who she is.
Yeah.
But there's somebody else, but I can't think of her, so it's okay. We just gonna
we'll circle back.
Okay, yes. How did your roots shape the way you see yourself and the world today?
My roots?
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I was raised by two wonderful parents. I was raised in a big family as far as I grew up playing with my cousins. They were like our siblings. I only had one brother. So it was just me and him in the house, feeling a little lonely. But again, our cousins were our siblings. So we were blessed that our parents were close to their siblings, and so we got to be raised with their children. And my grandmothers, I'm so blessed and just lucky to still have them on this earth.
Okay, period.
And so those women as well really affected just how I became into a woman. And when I'm writing certain characters, I'm thinking of them, and I'm thinking of being a little girl in my grandma's kitchen, my mom's mom, and her smoking her cigarette, and her and my mom and my great aunt gossiping, and just being a little girl and hearing all these stories. And when I think about it, a lot of my interest in storytelling is, also comes from that. Just sitting at that table, being nosy, because they didn't tell me to, leave.
Oh, they didn't tell you to stay in the child. They didn't say you couldn't be at the table.
No, they let me sit right there. They probably thought I was not listening,
and you was.
But I was listening to all that good gossip. But I mean, I sometimes I wish I can go back to those moments. But yeah,
record or save it, or just go back.
Just to go back, and even just to watch, watch them. In their prime, just living life, the beautiful women that they are and they were. My great aunt passed.
Aww.
But so just having that family dynamic really, I felt a lot of love. I can say that. We weren't the richest family. We weren't wealthy. My father worked for years for FedEx.
I was asking for it, baby. Everybody mama worked at FedEx. Everybody named my work at FedEx.
That's another staple in Memphis.
Yes.
Another staple. But yeah, so my dad, he was a hard worker. He was working there since he was a teenager. He finally retired not long ago.
Are they from Memphis? They were born.
My parents, yes, born. Well, actually, my mom was born in Mississippi.
Mississippi,
in Como, Mississippi.
And that's across. Is that like over the bridge or something?
No, so over the bridge would be Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Mississippi is right there. I mean, Mississippi was pretty much in our backyard.
Yeah.
In Whitehaven. We call it Black Haven. But we call it Black Haven. But yeah, so I mean, I grew up with a lot of love. It wasn't perfect. My parents were, did not stay together in their marriage, eventually. There was a divorce there, but they loved us and they took care of us. And I know I bring a lot of what they taught me into my own life. My parents have the best work ethic ever. My mom was a small business owner. She owned her own daycare. And again, my father, I mean, his work was very important to him. And so I grew up watching them work, hustle. There was no days off. Like you did what you had to do. You didn't complain. Well, you probably complained a little, but you did your job. Like there were no excuses for not getting up and going to work. And so I definitely have that in me and they didn't even teach me. Like I watched them, That was the lesson, just watching my parents work.
I would say, do you feel like you're a no excuse person now, or do you take your rest days?
Oh no! Lately I haven't been able to take any rest days. Yeah. But I kind of slack off a little bit here and there. And we need our rest, right? And that's Black women, right? We always feel like we have to keep going, go. But
I didn't get that trait.
You didn't get that trait?
I just it depends on what I'm doing, but
you're working hard though. You're working hard.
Well, no, I'm about to keep going. I'm like, ooh, child. I haven't, maybe ever since I turned 30, I'm like, child, I'm taking a nap.
But listen, when those kids you have no choice. Because they're not going to let you sit down to breathe for 5 seconds.
At all.
So even as a teenager, my daughter still knocks on the door. Can I? What is it? But I wish I could take more breaks, and I should. But yeah, they definitely taught me how to like get up and get your money, basically.
Yeah, period. do you like share your stories or your books like with your parents or with your family? Or,
I would say my mom is like, I would say she is my biggest cheerleader. She does, and I know I get my love for writing and just reading from her as well. Talk about traits, like she's a big reader. And so, yeah, whenever I write something, I send it to her, and she'll call me and she'll tell me what she liked about it or what she didn't like. Like my first book I put out, she reminded me of this today, that it has some, some choice words, some cussing in there. She was like,
she wasn't for that.
She wasn't for that. She was like, why do they have to, why do your characters have to talk like that? And I was like, Mom, just keeping it real.
Yeah. It's that Southern.
It's that, yes.
That deep.
But yeah, she's been, my biggest cheerleader throughout this process. She's always talking about my work to her friends. And my dad and my stepmom have been supportive as well. So, but my mom, she will sit and talk to me about what she read.
That's so cool.
The stories, the characters. Yeah. She's really into it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Can you share a moment when embracing your voice led to an unexpected opportunity or breakthrough?
Embracing my voice. I would say, mainly that decision to go back to grad school and, just try it out and really try to study the craft. I was nervous. I was older than a lot of my peers.
Non-traditional student.
You're right. I was a non-traditional student. I was in my 30s, right? Headed into 40s. And so I was very intimidated. And I also had to deal with imposter syndrome, because I really thought I was faking it. Like, I would sit there, we would discuss the text that we read, I would be quiet at first, and then I would listen to see what other people would say. I'm like, oh, well, that make it seem easy. And so, and a lot of my peers, my cohort, they had been studying English since their freshman year, whereas I took two semesters of English, maybe 2 years, and then everything else was animals and science,
so 2 semesters, you're talking about English 101 and 102.
Right, yes, in undergrad. And so they were already prepared with the terminology, the language of studying literature, and I had to catch up. So I was very intimidated, and but I embraced it. I spoke up. I added to the conversation. I felt like I could relate more to the professors because they had the kids, they had the jobs. So,
that's what I was gonna say to you. I'm like, child, when did you read, child?
Right. I remember this one professor I had. Her children were in JCPS school, and I think that it was Kentucky was having teacher strikes, and so she would come in and would say, I think JCPS is going to be closed because of the strikes, and I'm like, yes, I think so too. My baby's gonna have to stay home, and so we were like, stressed out about that. I could relate to her. So, but yeah, so it was a very interesting journey being sometimes the oldest student in class, and but trying to fit in where you think you don't fit.
Yes.
But I made my way. I walked with my chest stuck out, and I found my voice in that.
I love that. Did y'all have a lot of group projects in your degree program?
In the grad school? No, we didn't really have a lot of group projects or any. We would get together as a group to discuss certain things. But no, we didn't have any group projects.
Because everybody complains about group projects, but I was like, I wonder if there's group projects in English. Like,
I'm sure in some classrooms. I'm sure
really?
some, but no, we didn't have, because when you think, especially
you have to write, so that's why I was saying
the creative writing, you really kind of on your own until your peer reviews your work. So that part could be scary as well. But that's pretty much what we had to do.
Okay, so just embracing your voice in the classroom and stuff like that, and then wanting to, even going back to school, but being a non-traditional student is like, whoa, different.
But I have no regrets. I'm so glad I did it.
That's really good. What advice would you give someone who feels like their voice isn't enough?
I would say that, you know, if you have a voice, you're already enough. Like it's already enough, but you have to accept that. You have to and you have to believe it. Because if you don't have faith that you were put here for a purpose, or that you can find your purpose eventually, then you're not gonna make it. Right? You have to have some sort of faith that I have something to do. I'm worth it. Like, I'm worth taking that risk and trying this new thing that I may be scared to do, but it's worth trying. And you have to do it for yourself. Like, you really can't do it for anyone else. Like, you really have to, like, that's the gift you have to give to yourself, to just try something and see what happens.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So you would just tell them to try something. See what happens. But you look like you have a voice.
Right. Yeah, we all do, and you know, it's worth it to share that voice with other people.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so our last question in this segment is, how do you continue to nurture your passion and stay true to your voice every day?
Every day? Well, when I'm not busy doing other stuff, I have nothing to do with my passion. It's a never ending like hope inside of me, like, and that desire. I wake up every day wanting to write. I wake up every day thinking about what I'm gonna write in the future.
Do you write every day though?
I do not. And that's a problem. But like you, if I have an idea that pops up, I write it down so I never forget it. And I go back to it. But just the passion for where I see myself in you know, years later, publishing other writers, you know, being published by a traditional publisher with my own work. I have a novel I'm working on. I'm also, yes, I do.
I was going to say, are you doing NaNoWriMo? Did you do NaNoWriMo?
I did not.
Okay. Maybe this year.
But that's another good way to get your work done. But I'm also writing it's more of an academic book, a nonfiction book, an anthology that's gonna have all the works of Blanche Taylor Dickinson. She was a Harlem Renaissance writer, and she actually attended Simmons College. She's from Kentucky, Franklin, Kentucky, and I am working to anthologize all of her work, her poetry, her short stories, and her nonfiction. She was a journalist, and so she never published her own book. And so I want to have something together for her. So.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, how are you doing that? How do you get off permission? I remember coming to the event for in April.
Yeah, because we celebrate her at Simmons.
Yeah. But like, how are you able to do that? Like, how are you finding stuff to publish it?
It's fun though. Researching is fun, but you have to be someone that likes to do it. So I'm looking at a lot of old newspapers, historically Black newspapers, like the Pittsburgh Courier, the Baltimore Afro-American. So that's how Black writers got their work out back then. In the 1920s, they submitted to newspapers. So their poetry, their short stories. And so I did not know that. And so, you know, but that's how
newspaper.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know.
Different times.
You probably don't even remember newspapers. I don't know.
I do remember newspapers, but I wasn't reading newspapers. Okay? But I'm just like, to even think like, to publish it, it's like, I have to get into a newspaper. I'm just like, well, how would they even know? How do you even know how to get into a newspaper? So,
right. And back then, I mean, that's just how it worked. But there are also Black publications, like journals, like The Crisis, which was started by W.B. Du Bois. Okay. And she had some work sent there as well. But they didn't have a lot of avenues. Yeah. Big companies were not publishing their work, you know? So that's how they did it, through Black newspapers. And so I have had to like just search different newspapers for her name, and a poem would pop up or a short story would pop up. And I've also had to do extra work, you know, to find poems that we didn't even know existed that she wrote. So it has been a treasure hunt. Like every time I found something new, I literally had the biggest smile on my face.
Yes. I have two questions. Have you ever been to Franklin?
I have not, but I'm trying to go in March.
Oh,
I'm planning to go so I can see her hometown and do some more research.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask, because I was like, does she have family or something like that out there? I don't know, but that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been down. She never had children or anything like that. She had a lot of cousins, so I'm going to try to track down who I can track down.
Period. Okay, I have to do that one time. When I was telling you that I was right. Yeah, I haven't did it yet, but shout out to you because you did help me. But when I'm
little,
no, you did help me a lot. But doing the research, I actually do like research, and that's why I was telling you about like even the Memphis thing. So like when I went to Russellville to even do the research about the 8th of August and stuff like that.
Right.
So so I was like, that's why I was asking you if you've been there. I do like the research. I think it's cool, but it's all the putting it together and then figuring out the next Friday. But I think the research is fun, and I think that it kind of depends. So it's like, if you like research or if you like to write, kind of how you do it. But that's what I was wondering too. It's like getting on the ground and being like, okay, let's go find this, let's do this. I like to do the interview part. That's why I thought your thing was cool with like the Black boys, like interviewing them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's kind of like,
love that.
Yeah, that's like kind of the fun part of it. And then, but then it's like, okay, now you gotta publish it and get it out and put it together.
I gotta sit down, put it together. So that's gonna be the real work.
Yeah.
But I have not. I've been kind of putting the poems and her short stories in the document, the manuscript, as I've been going along. So I've got most of that done, but it's still building her bio. Who was she? What happened in her last final days? Putting those pieces together.
Well, let me know. I would love to go with you. I've never been to Franklin. Was it Kentucky? Let me know if you need somebody to go along with you. Okay. I would go. And then I was gonna say, when do you get your ideas? Like, when is the best time? You said when you're always thinking about stuff and you write it down. Like, when do you get your best ideas? In the morning? I don't know. At lunch? In the shower? In the bed? Like,
oh my gosh, I don't think there is a specific. They come at random. Sometimes they come when I hear a song. I have written a short story after listening to a song by this artist named Ray LaMontagne. I love him. His music's so beautiful.
What type of music does he?
I don't know how to categorize it actually.
Okay.
You just have to look him up and you'll see. You likely have heard his songs before, and you probably just don't even know it. But he has this beautiful song called "Let It Be Me," and that spawned an idea for a short story. And so, so it could be a song while I'm driving. It could be in the shower. It could be dreaming. I don't know if a lot of writers actually dream and then they wake up and it's a story idea the next day. Like, I don't know, but sometimes that has happened as well.
I be forgetting my dream shot.
Most of them I forget, but the ones that stick with me was like, ooh, I play it out when I'm awake, and it becomes a story in no time.
That's so good. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. So you kind of get inspiration from anywhere. Yeah. Sometimes, but do you know how to sing?
I absolutely do not know.
Oh, okay.
I love singing. I love singing, but do I sound great? No.
I love talking about the songs, but
no.
I feel like it's horrible because I feel like I get all my great ideas in the shower, and I be like, my phone is on the toilet top.
Maybe you should keep a little notepad and soap dish or something that's not gonna get wet.
Something. But I be like, oh, this is so annoying. So I don't be turning on the shower, but I be like getting out of the shower and typing. I'm like all my ideas. Gosh. Yeah, I do sometimes. I'm like, I literally have so many ideas. And it's always in the shower because I'm just thinking and doing stuff like that. Or even when I'm driving, but now I start just like voice recording it and just like talking.
Thank God for technology.
Okay, shout out to technology. we was more the way to tech, the veteran tech and all that.
Veterinary technician.
Yes, but I know I hate it. I was just like, that's why I'm like, when I make it, I'm gonna get a driver so I can just do everything that I can do. Yes, because that's the most like when I'm in the car, like boo boo, like you listen to music. How you say you hear something, it just be so much going on. I feel like those are the time. It's like. It's kind of quiet because all you're doing is focusing on something that you get so many ideas.
Your brain is allowed to think and go there.
Driving in the shower. And so
long road trips that I've taken, especially driving back and forth between Tennessee and Kentucky. The ideas will come while I'm driving or riding if my husband's driving. But really for me is at random, and it's kind of like it's gotten. Sometimes it gets so bad that I have to say no. I can't come up with another idea. I need to focus on this one. I got 5 over here. I got 6 over here in this notebook.
I have so many ideas.
It's too many.
Yes, I have some ideas. Once I was like that I said, okay, let me hold this idea, child. Let me write it down and hold it.
Because it becomes overwhelming.
Yes, and then you never know where to start. That's why I have never started.
Yeah, so narrow it down.
Yes, because I have so many ideas.
Yeah.
I was going to say, speaking of technology, do you use any technology to help you with your ideas, like AI, ChatGPT?
No.
Oh, you don't use any of
I'm
those?
very
No technology.
Okay, so let me tell you what I have, because I don't want to, I'm going to use a Memphis term, flodge.
I don't want to lie. Period. Flodge. My Memphis people
So the only AI I have used is when it comes to like the business planning, as far as, when I started my press, what does a business plan for a press look like? So I had ChatGPT draw something up so I could get an idea of how this works. But no, I've never used AI to create. As far as I'm concerned, and I'm saying this also as an English professor who grades a lot of papers, your creativity is authentically you. Like it's your words, your thoughts, your brain, and we should embrace that. Like, we need to stop relying a lot on this technology to think for us, because there is nothing wrong with the way we think. There is nothing wrong with the stories we have. Why do we need AI to do that? And it's very
human stories in there.
In what?
I'm saying they take it from humans. They take stuff from
they
humans
are.
to the
They're
AI.
taking it to,
So I'm taking it back.
They're still
Take my power back.
Is that how you rationalize it?
No, I know. When you said it like that, I just thought about it like that.
A lot of people don't. That's why a lot of these companies are getting sued, because these story ideas are coming from actual stories, actual writers. So the AI is stealing. But no, I just think that's what makes us human, our creativity. That's what sets us aside from other creatures on this earth. Like,
period. I should ask English professions question.
I know, yes.
You're the person I asked. You talking about technology. I don't know. I embrace technology, but I feel like it's a different, and to your point and whatever, because I was asking, like, I feel like sometimes with technology, how you can use it, and you think you're like educated, because I didn't go to school for my master or whatever, so I'm like, should I write a short film? I'm like, should I create this as a web series? Now, I never really put my titles in there, because I keep my titles and I do what I need to do, right? But I'm like, should I create a short film? Should I create it as a web series, or should I create it as like a movie or something like that? So I do ask that, like, which one could be this, like, I have this idea, like, should I do this one first, or should I do that one first? I do that stuff, because
like, in a way to kind of get like advice, or
advice to see, are kind of being like, what's going on. I'll be like, what is there any books on, or is there anything on that? And be like,
okay, so almost kind of like research, almost sounds like.
I do. Yeah, I do use it for research to kind of see what's going out there. And then also, you don't want to tell people the same things, but I don't got time for that.
Right.
And so I feel like you can use it to a certain extent. I don't really. I have all my ideas are really my ideas of what I do, because it's my experience. But if I'm like, if I don't know, if you're like, like, I need a character or whatever, like character name, something like that, you might not know a character name. You might not have an idea for a character name. So it's like, some names of characters. Any ideas?
Well, you always go back to our old ancient friend Google and be like, hey, Google, give me a baby name.
And they're going to do AI.
Well, now, back then, before AI, like, when I wanted to come up with names, I would Google names of, for girls, or the most popular names of, 2021 or whatever. And
really?
So a list will come out, and I would do that.
I always wonder how people got their characters' names. I don't know.
I mean, some people probably, like, it really probably comes from them. Most of the time they come from me as far as just, I don't know what I'm inspired to write at the moment, or the name. But some names come from distant relatives, or deceased relatives, or just people I may have encountered, just if I love their name. So yeah,
I feel like names are kind of hard for me. I do have some names that I have, but I've been sticking to the same names. I'm like, girl, if you want to write more books, you need some more names.
I have to do that. Like, how many times have I used this name? How many stories? But and again, I understand that we're living in the future. AI is not going away, like I tell my students. But when it comes to being creative, only a human could do that. So yeah, I don't use AI for my creativity, but
Yeah.
I have used it to help with the technical
Mhm.
business plans. Sure, I'm not a business person. I don't have an MBA, and I'm not about to pay anybody
To do it.
So if I could get ChatGPT to come help me with that,
Mhm.
sure. But everything else is gonna come from me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm an AI enthusiast. I don't know the word.
Yeah.
Cause I be like, help me create a cover letter, help me create a resume. I can't even work, child.
And I get it's convenient, right? It
Yes.
takes it takes up the time that you would have had to spend.
To figure it out myself, because I'm like, child, I don't know. But speaking of technology, I see we don't see. But I was gonna say, I taught gym 101 last semester, like last year, and I read my students' paper. I don't really feel like they used AI. Like even in class, they was time. I'm like, are you using it? But I was like, maybe they didn't really use AI, so I don't know. But you talk about AI, they talk about it in classes. So I'm like, some of the students maybe really liked it, right? I was like, to me, it didn't really look like AI because I could see what the heck they could have used it, but I don't really know. So, you know, it just kind of depends. But I wasn't asking for like a hard paper in general,
Right? It was a simple.
Yeah, it was like a simple thing. I was like, okay, y'all was typing, writing, but we ain't had that when we was in school, so we was really writing.
We were really. Yes.
So I don't know, but speaking of technology, I have a segment called the Digital Dilemma because we are technical. Okay,
Yeah.
it's called Myth or Fact. It's like a rapid fire round, but I can repeat it if you want me to do.
Yes.
So it's just
hard.
yeah. No, I'm just gonna read a prompt and you tell me myth or fact.
Okay.
All right.
That's fun.
Yes.
Okay.
So number one, you need thousands of followers to make a real impact.
I would say in this day and age, that's a fact.
Okay. Sharing your voice online can inspire someone you don't even know.
Fact.
Okay. You don't have to be perfect to make a real impact online.
Oh, fact.
It's too late to start building your voice online.
Myth.
You have to follow trends to be heard online.
Myth.
Social media can be overwhelming, but also offers opportunity.
I would say that's a fact.
It's easy to feel self-doubt when you compare yourself to others online.
Oh, fact.
Yes, you did good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all. No, little light. Okay, yeah,
like,
this is fun.
Like,
you know?
what year was ChatGPT founded? Like, what?
That's trivia, child. I do like trivia.
Okay.
This is just a little fun. Yes, a little relaxed.
Yes,
Okay. I'm cracking up. So I have a postcard segment, and basically, you write postcards when you go places. This is audio, right? So we just gonna talk it out. So if you could leave our listeners with one empowering message about finding their voice, what would it be?
Well, one empowering message I would use or share with that person is to trust yourself. Again, fear is going to be with you, but don't let fear drive your car. You have to be the driver, and just drive it. Keep driving and focus on your goal. And just don't stop driving.
Okay, don't stop driving. You can't be the passenger. You gotta be in the.
You gotta be in the driver's seat.
Okay, what you driving?
Girl, I don't want to talk about that.
What's your dream car?
We need a new one.
Oh, you have to get a new car. I hate trying to figure out cars, but that's why I'm gonna get a driver, so I don't gotta worry about the car when I make my money.
Yes,
so.
I have always liked Mustangs.
Oh, okay,
And don't even ask me about the year. What years do I like? Like I just have always liked Mustangs, and if I had a dream car when I don't have to take kids to soccer games or soccer practice or a Mustang for mama.
Okay, we love that. I meant to ask you: is your goal to be a full-time writer, author?
Yes.
Okay.
Full-time author and publisher, yes.
Publisher, okay.
Yeah.
So you want to publish the chapbooks?
Yes.
And then is there other things you want to publish, or you just want to stick to chapbooks?
I just want to start with there now. Eventually, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to start there now.
And then you want to be a full-time writer as well.
Yeah, that would be a dream.
Fiction?
At 40 years old, that would be a dream come true.
Fiction writer?
Yes.
All fiction?
The nonfiction as well. I want to get into writing essay collections, and continue my research of Artists like Blanche Taylor Dickinson, who never really got a chance to celebrate herself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also thinking about people in Memphis that I want to write about, unknown or not as well-known artists. So yeah, I've got some ideas. And again,
cool.
this is where I have to say, okay, lock it down. Don't
Yeah, lock
focus on
it
that right now. Focus on this, and this first. So yeah, but I do have a lot
Of ideas.
and goals that I'm gonna make happen.
Yes, we love to hear that. We love to hear that. Well, thanks for sharing your passion through your voice for everybody to hear. And thanks for coming to the couch in the den.
I loved it.
Yes, where can they follow you? Where can they support you? You know, to get a chapbook or to see
your work. So I am on Instagram at Christian L'Oreal Writes. I believe because I've changed it.
Okay.
But I also have a website, ChristianL'Oreal.com. Where you can get my books. Also, and just see the other things that I've written, the little one-off articles and things that I've written. So, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. I'm not all over everything, but
it's on Instagram.
Yeah, yes.
You ain't got the TikTok and the Facebook. You don't.
I got Facebook. I do. Listen, according to my students and probably my kids too, Facebook is so like old news. You know. I was like, should we keep talking about Facebook? But I am on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They can keep saying that, but one day I'm like, Facebook gonna pay me, child. Okay.
Yes.
One day it was. So yeah, you gotta put your content out on there. TikTok moved a little too fast. Facebook, they could go back and they could see it. People can share. They can do that.
The history, the memories.
Yes.
I want that for you too. I want that for you.
Well, thanks. I have to start posting on Facebook.
Yeah, you will. You'll get there.
But yes, you know. But I think that's rude. They be trying to come for Facebook. And
it's like it's crazy. It's like the younger generations are done with Facebook and they have moved on.
They have because I asked this girl. I met her. She's 11 Louisville, and she told me that she went to an HBCU or she went to Georgia State in Atlanta. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, what made you go there? To Georgia State. She was like, well, I was looking on TikTok for school. She wanted to go to the HBCU. She wanted to go to Florida, but I think it was too expensive. Then she's like, she found GSU. I said, people are looking for colleges on TikTok. That's crazy to me.
Jeez, wow.
So I was like, you know, in my higher ed brain, you know, I said, oh, you're looking for colleges on TikTok? Very interesting. Because baby, I wasn't even looking for college.
You know, not just her. It must be like thousands of
it's somebody they're talking about it. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, see, so you know, new technology is great.
Exactly. Some of it is really wonderful.
Some of it is good, some of it is fine. We'll have to see on the next episode. Well, thank you so much for coming on. If this is your first time, make sure you check out Christian's work. If it's your first time coming to Black Girls Den podcast, make sure you subscribe. We upload every Wednesday on YouTube and any podcast platform that you are listening to. Stay tuned because we have more women who are sharing their passion with y'all and sharing their voice through their passion that we want to share with y'all. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with somebody else. And see y'all next week. Bye.